mother wounds, the mother wounds that we have, how it shows up in your relationships, how it impacts your relationship with yourself, with other people. And it is so, so important because if you don't understand what wounds, where your wounds came from, it's really hard to tackle. It's really hard to understand and have empathy for yourself, for your own mother, for people around you, because um, specifically what a mother wound is, it's what happened when the person that was supposed to teach you that you were safe, loved, and good enough as a human being, when she doesn't have the capacity to do that for you, um, it creates this wound of like, I wasn't nurtured enough or I wasn't this enough. And even if you had a great mother, um, subhanAllah, our child brains kind of interpret it in a way where even if she slipped up once or twice, our brains hold on to that. So it's this ability of like a mother who is nurturing, her role is to provide you that safety, that nurturing, that love, that loving, like knowing that you are fully loved and adored and safe. And when she fails to do that, you spend your whole life trying to earn what you should have gotten from your mother. And this is not something that we should blame our mothers for or anything like that. Like, alhamdulillah, my mother, may Allah bless her, she's literally an angel sent from God to the way she tried her best and did everything she could with what she knew and her beautiful imperfections, the gap between what she couldn't do and what I needed to learn was exactly what I needed to become the woman that I am today. Alhamdulillah. So I just want to start off by saying, um, I'm very, very thankful for all the mothers. I know they're all trying their best, and it's hard to be one, right? If they didn't have that loving support from their mothers, um, it's it's not their fault, right? So all of our maternal ancestors struggled one way or the other. This is not about like blaming the mom or anything. This is more about understanding the mother wound and how it shows up. So I remember, right? So it shows up in many ways for people, and even if you think of your mother and you're like, I love her so much, and this and that, um, there may be things that she has done, maybe emotionally unavailable or emotionally too available, like helicopter mom, or constantly judging you, or even the other way where she doesn't judge you at all. There's so many different dynamics of how a mother, like daughter or son relationship shows up, and what you want to reflect on is in what way do I feel like I'm not good enough? And maybe, right, it's something that my mom didn't necessarily show me either by her actions or by her words or whatever it is that made it harder for me to believe, made it harder for me to access that I am good enough, right? For some women, it's like their moms are always comparing to another person, or for some women, there's you name it, there's like a million and one dynamics of how that shows up. But my point being here, specifically for mother wound, it's about being, how you're being, if you're being good enough. For father wound, it's more about doing and accomplishing. So I will talk about the father wound in another video, but for the mother wound, it just helps to understand why are some people a lot like better to access the whole confidence thing and feeling like they are worthy and good enough. You could kind of trace that back to how their relationship with their mother was. And the way it shows up for each gender is very different. It's very fascinating. The way a man shows up with a mother wound when he didn't get the nurturing he needed from his mother, when he didn't get the love and attention that he needed from his mother, it comes out sometimes in a way that's like he feels maybe a little bit more like bitter towards women, or you name it. There's many ways of how that shows up. Same thing with women. The way it comes up is like um very self-sacrificing. If they think they're not good enough, they try to sacrifice and people please their way into feeling good enough. And so that's how the mother wound shows up for women. Um, so there's so many ways that it shows up for different genders. And so my question to you is to ask yourself, what is the main thing that keeps showing up for you that you feel like it's hard to get rid of? And just like think about that for a second. Give a personal example, and I have to preface this by saying my mom was literally perfect. I love her. I will die for her. This is not about her. This is about I'm just saying this so that people can kind of catch on how this shows up. But my mom was more, she didn't have the skills to kind of emotionally check in on like how I'm feeling. It was more of because of that, it felt like I wasn't deserving of being checked on. That was kind of like the wound that came up over time. It was like I'm not worthy of being checked on. I felt like more of a burden sometimes than being checked on. And like I said, it has nothing to do with my mom. It's just that like she also had the same kind of pattern from her grandparents and whatever, right? So it kind of got passed down. And so what helps to know is like, oh, I'm like what helps for me is like, oh, I'm feeling really unworthy. And that's because I just didn't get the exact love that my I needed as a child when I was that, from my mom at that time. And that makes sense, right? Doesn't mean I'm broken, doesn't mean anything. It just means that's what my brain interpreted when that happened. So now how does it show up? It shows up by me trying to earn my worth, like trying to be worthy by people pleasing, doing this, doing that. And feeling a lot of shame and like sacrificing. And so all of that was something I had to really, really work on and understand of like, oh, that's why it happened. Right. And also, thankfully, I have both wounds, father and mother wounds. So I had the honor of working on both of them. So I truly understand how it shows up in myself and other people. And when someone expresses, either like deep bitterness towards the other gender or feeling like really a deep sense of self or an unworthiness, I can tell what's happening. And like I said, it doesn't just because you see your parents as perfect and they didn't do a bad job. No one's saying they did a bad job. I'm saying when you were younger, your child brain may have interpreted things in a very different way, right? So let's say as an example, my mom did everything perfectly, but let's say like one day, when I said, I love you, mom, maybe she didn't look back at me and she said it back. Maybe, right? I'm not, I'm just making this up. And so then my child brain would interpret that as like, oh, she doesn't love me. So in order to heal the mother wound, what I had to do, first and foremost, I remember um, not feeling guided enough, not feel like I was never taught how to think about myself as a woman. I was never taught how to think, feel, act as a woman. And when I say that, I mean like what is it like to actually see yourself as worthy? And honestly, it wasn't until like my very first coach that I hired like such a long time ago now. But I remember her like guiding me and showing me like how to think about myself, like seeing myself as worthy, seeing myself as like no, like you're worthy and deserving of love that I realized like that's the maternal guidance that I needed. Sometimes a mother's role is to help uh the man or the woman to kind of go to get the nurturing they need to become adults. And when we don't get that, we try to seek that approval through other means, right? So I remember like when I first hired my coach and she would tell me all these things, I would be like, oh, I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know it was an option to feel worthy. I thought that was just like, you know, just like for other people, but not for me. And and for me specifically, just kind of a personal story that my parents got divorced, and so I got a constant, and then they got remarried. But like, I felt this like deep feeling like it's my fault and that I'm a burden. So I like been working all my life to kind of get rid of that feeling. But alhamdulillah, after just all it took was to show my brain like, no, this is actually you are a worthy woman, and to become the nurturing part that you were missing to yourself, which is very key. So, two things I want you to work on. The first thing is the image of the mother that you wish you had. Okay. If you were like, I wish my mother was more of this or more of that, more of this, I want you to write that down. And then I want you to think of the mother that you actually got. And you want to have a grieving process of like, my mother will never be XYZ, and it's okay. Whatever is missing, I will figure it out. I will take it on and figure it out. It's not my mother's responsibility anymore because you're a grown adult. And so we love the mom. We love what she tried to do and or what she couldn't do. And at this time, I'm going to let go of holding her responsible for that and taking on that feeling or that whatever I'm missing and me doing whatever it takes to make me feel that way, right? So if I'm feeling like I'm not good enough because of the way my mom, did back then I'm going to take the responsibility of showing myself that I am good enough. And I release and I let go of this perfect image of that of what I think my mom should have been. And I forgive her and I let it go and I love my mom exactly how it is. And inshallah, I'll do another video about the father, but this is very deep work. This is one of the hardest things you could do is understanding your parent wounds and letting them go. And truly like labeling it, like why do I keep thinking this? How come other people don't have this much of a struggle and versus I did, right? And like I said, it's all on a spectrum, right? Just because let's say your mom is not as bad as another mom, some people have really, really, really actually like terrible narcissistic moms that abuse them in whatever, verbally, emotionally, physically. And they have a lot more work to do than someone who like, forgot to look at them once when they were 4 years old, right? It's just different. So what I want you to kind of label is even though your mom tried her best, there's still some wounds and that's okay. It's not something to like think you're broken or anything like that. It's just something to understand. And for me personally, when I understood this, it gave me kind of a validation that like, oh, it's okay that I feel this way because I just didn't get what I needed when I needed it. And so now I'm gonna take this on and figure it out. So, going back to your homework, the first thing is figuring out what you wish you wanted your mother to be, right? This is the image of what you wish your mom was. And I want you to write down how she should have been. She should have been, more loving, more nurturing, more available, less this, more that, this, that, and like write that all down. And then write down the who she actually is. Take a look at it and grieve that. That gap needs to be grieved. This is how you transition to like taking responsibility. This is who my mom is. I let go and I take responsibility of the image, and I'm now the new mother for myself. And I'm talking to men as well. If you also had a mother that was very, not the best, or she hurt you one way or the other, now it's your role as an adult to take on that and to work on giving yourself what you need. Okay? Now, for men, it shows up as emotional unavailability. It shows up as like um, just unavailable. And for women, it shows up as a lot of like self-erase, like just erasing yourself, seeing yourself as unworthy, all of that. And so it's just it depends on how it came up. It's very different for everyone. So this is kind of why it's hard to kind of say what it is specifically for you. Okay. And then that's the first thing. The first part is that. Uh, the second part is what is it what specific thought that keeps coming up for you that feels really hard to let go of? And um, like what do you wish your mother did what that would heal this thing? This one thing, okay? So as an example, if let's say I said I feel like I'm not good enough, and if I would imagine if my mom, tucked me into bed every day and gave me a kiss like how my neighbors did, my neighbors would always tell me how their mom treated them and I felt left out. And so um I would just imagine that and imagine that, okay, this is what it would be like if I was worthy. And you would kind of give yourself what you need to give that to get that feeling of like, oh wait, I am worthy. And even if my mom wasn't able to do that, I'm able to like feel worthy. But that's what I was missing. And that's okay that it's missing. And then you can logically and like emotionally, mentally kind of work your way through that of like, oh, that's what my child brain is thinking that it needs for me to feel worthy now. Okay. This one might be harder to actually do on your own because it's kind of hard, honestly. Um, but however, I just wanted to point out the inner shift course that's coming up on May 23rd that I'm doing. I cover a lot of this like in depth and actually showing you how to see what specifically is coming up for you so that you can shift your identity and all the things that you've been feeling stuck on. This is what I really focus on. So I urge you to sign up if you haven't already. Um, that's definitely it's going to help you. Trust me. But yeah, the point of this video is just I just want to point this out. It's something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's helpful to just understand and know about it. So inshallah, in another video, I'll talk about the father wound. But in the meantime, inshallah, I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.